Which is kind of a good fail-safe, I suppose. So, what I just said, what I'll say now is like, Gran Turismo 7 update 1.71, new update, handling's been updated, it seems controversial, let's talk about it. I've just gone through the first couple of corners, and it feels understeery to me, like, my muscle memory on Gran Turismo 7 is pretty good, having raced so many years, like, at the business end. And when I just came through here, like, especially for the left-hander, like, that feels like a lot of lock to get through there. And I don't generally tweak my rotation. I do use a lot of different wheelbases and whatnot, so my settings, my in-game settings can change, like the torque and the sensitivity, but I don't really change the wheelbase settings that much once I've gotten dialed in. So that feels understeery. I'm in the Porsche, which, well, I know until this update it's been, look at that, it's understeery. This is quite an understeery corner anyway, or I tend to understeer here. Driving feels more realistic, which requires more skill. Sorry, Alan, I was answering your question and I realised, I was like, why are you not responding? And I realised I'm actually not streaming, but I'm streaming now. Took a cue from F1. I mean, I haven't read too much about it. I haven't driven it yet. I get the feeling it's controversial, and therefore I get the feeling I should have an opinion on it. I mean, if it's purely lock, I can change my rotation on the wheel, which I'm not going to do yet because I want to get dialed in. I mean, Parabolica, we know, is like, you just have such a good instinct when you get on the power. That doesn't feel too different. That didn't feel too different. But turn 1, turn 2 feels understeery. Let's see. That also feels like I braked at my usual braking place, and that was way too early to brake. I don't know if anyone's driven Monza on 1.71, but that on soft tyres here in a GT3. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll drive the Peugeot RCZ. We'll drive the RCZ. Yeah, again here, like, I'm trying to work out why it might feel more understeery, but then also the braking of the car might be better, which doesn't make sense to me because, or does it? If I'm understeering, is it because the tyres are grippier? Because I'm not losing control and oversteering? It doesn't make sense to me. Braking zones are different. You can brake. Okay, so that makes sense to me. Turn 1, I was like, oh, I'm ready to turn in here, but the corner's not to like another 20 meters. Welcome, BT Esports. So if you can brake later, but it's also more understeery. So if I can brake later, but it's going to be more understeery. I want to brake late. I want to get the car rotated. I want to treat it almost like a front-wheel drive car, don't I? I don't want to be doing lines like this. I want to be maximizing track limits. I was going to say, enter thinking tyres have way more grip. Okay, I can feel that in the braking, but then it's almost like, don't I want to induce the cars to be oversteery then? Do you remember at the beginning of Gran Turismo 7, oversteer cost you so much time, it was better to have an understeery car? Like, I'm talking like week 1 of the game. Oh my days, that's late. Wow, I mean, I'm just stamping on it in first gear. Nothing's happening. PMR has best handling. It's just going to be the, what do you call it? The singularity where PMR overtakes GT7. If you turn the rear natural frequency, maybe we'll buy an RCZ and tune it. Although that'll be front wheel drive, but that's obviously a car I understand quite well. If you have more grip, you're going to be able to do like silly moves like that quite a lot. Or even like here, maybe... Oh, sorry, brother. Just because you see 7 so wide, bro. No issues being there, no grip issues. That's an interesting line, like biting it and then not worrying about oversteer. Yeah, it's definitely different. Wider slip angle and less snap. Let's get in some muscle cars then. I'm really interested to see how an American muscle car, road car is going to handle on like not racing softs. I've never driven a G3 car. I have actually driven a G3 car. I've driven a Ferrari 488 GT Challenge. But that car was just, in real life, was so nicely balanced. It definitely did not understeer. Like, for me, it was... You can induce it to oversteer, but that's obviously in, like, an MR car. Let's... Tell you what, let's buy some let's buy some testing cars. Let's buy some cars for testing. Let's go to the shop of Brand Central. If you have any cars that you think are going to be good to... Let's see. How much cash? Oh, I'm always... Why am I so short? How am I so short on cash? Can I redeem anything? Welcome, Vlaka. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. It's bigger slip angle. Well, slip angle just means slip angle. Okay, when GT7 came out, I made a video saying there's no slip angle in this game, compared to like iRacing where you can slip angle it. In GT7, I'm talking week 1. As soon as you got that back end stepping out, it was like it entered a different laws of physics, and it would be just like skating, and you couldn't hold it. You just had to like get it back in line, and then it would kind of settle into a rhythm. I think they did an update. I think I did a video at Monza in the Lamborghini Urus to demonstrate it. I think you got to the point where you could actually have slip angle because the oversteer became less comical. But I never oversteered that Porsche once. Let's buy a muscle car. We'll buy the Caterham. Presumably it's cheap, right? Presumably it's cheap. Yeah, get in there. Okay, buy the Caterham. Oh, nice one, BCA Sports. Got the podium pedal test to use a code. Oh, nice. Does the code work? I have a Logitech discount code for you guys, and a Fantech discount code for you guys, and now THRUSTMASTER discount code. And I'm working on Moser. But let's buy an American muscle car. Yeah, podiums are nice actually, because coming back and using these G Pro pedals. G Pro pedals are nice, but I think the podium pedals are probably the second best load cell pedals I've ever used. The best load cell pedals being the Wave Italy pedals. And then also up there is like Aztec hydraulics, and also up there is Conspit hydraulics, and also up there for sure is Simucube active pedals. Simucube active pedals are my favourite pedals. I feel like I need to be in a Dodge. I feel like I need to be in the Dodge Challenger. SRT Demon. That sounds like what I should be in. Let's see how understeery it really is. Nice. I think they are still having issues with the clutch, but I don't really use a clutch. Well, actually, now I am using a clutch, so that would be a problem if I was doing my road practicing. Anyone who says it's more realistic doesn't really know what realistic is. Well, I'll tell you what, let's buy a RCZ as well, and we'll tune that. Now this is my real life track car. And it's fairly realistic. I mean, I did the video on it to show you the differences. How cheap was that Challenger? Oh, what did you upgrade on the rig as well? Doing a little refresh. And what else should we buy? What's the ridiculous rear-wheel drive? Is there TBR? No, it's no TBR. What's like a ridiculous rear-wheel drive? Way too much power. Welcome KTM, welcome Matthias. Could those changes be a product of G7 Moser? I've seen that comment on my video from today. From my experience of speaking with the engineers at Fanatec, Logitech, etc., they don't. They seem to find out the same time as us. Put it like that. I don't think GT7 are like that. Polyphony are that communicative about it. You saw with the whole mess of the Moser announcement coming to GT World Series, and then obviously, well, you can infer that Fanatec weren't too happy about it, because then a press release came out like 2 days later from GT7 just talking about Fanatec. And also you can see it from the way that about a year ago GT7 did an update which broke True Force, if you remember. And I made a video on that, and I spoke with Logitech. I didn't speak with PD actually, I spoke with Logitech. And also you can infer it from the debacle on whether Full Force is in GT7 or not. I think it's meant to be in now, but you know, the fact that none of those things have happened cleanly, I doubt that there's been some careful collaboration with Polyphony and Moser that's impacted the handling of this update. That's from me, who I do stuff with Moser, and I spoke with PD at Goodwood. That's my honest take on it. Hyundai paid W. I did actually do a paid advert for Hyundai, didn't I? When they added, what did I do for Hyundai? They added a car like a few months ago, and I did a short on it or something. But yeah, there's a lot of Hyundais in this game, and apparently they're fast. You draw the dots. How long did it take you to podium pedals? Days. If you look at my review, days. Like, honestly, my review is very transparent, all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't really enjoy doing pedal reviews, and it took me days to get them right. And I'll tell you something for free. Since I got them right, I have not changed them once. I'm not down the back of my rig messing with those cups. I know there's a lot of marketing on the Fanatec podium pedals around the constant adjustability. I think it's nonsense. I think the Fanatec podium pedals are, like I said, the second best load cell pedals I've ever used, which is high praise, I think. That's my intention. But once you set them up, I don't think you're going to keep adjusting them. I haven't adjusted my G Pro pedals in like 2 years. I've not been down the back of this rig in 2 years. The pedal plate has come loose. But it's like, I can't think of anything less fun than getting on my back and like going under a table and all the dust there, and you know. So this world where the Fanatec podium pedals people are going to be constantly adjusting them, I don't think is something that's going to exist in the real world. It might, in an expo, it might be cool that there's a rig in the middle of a massive expo space and you could be like, oh, you can adjust it. I don't think that's the real world. That's also why I think the active pedals are so OP, because the active pedals, in the software, I can adjust them. And I do adjust the active pedals quite a lot on the software because it's cool. I don't need to do anything other than press a button. Curious what you, Super G, and Jimmy think of the physics. Daniel Moritz says iRacing is not realistic. There's so much stuff about people are like ambassadors for. I'm not saying with Super G, Jimmy, or Dan Moore, I don't know their positions, but there's so many people who are like ambassadors or like actually advisors for the Sims. They can't really say otherwise. Personally, I think iRacing is quite realistic. Not just actually in the handling, but the general kind of vibe of the game, like what it doesn't let you do, like auto drive and stuff like that. I think it's quite realistic. I think Le Mans Ultimate is realistic in a way, like in GT3s, that it does give you confidence. Like the tyre model in Le Mans Ultimate gives you confidence to drive, to push the car. And I think for relatively new drivers, I think you can push the car. You're pushing the car further sooner in your sim racing journey in LMU than iRacing, and I think that's similar to my experience of driving powerful cars in real life. Like, oh, they give you a lot of information and you can push them. But also I think iRacing just tires are brutal, and sometimes when I drove that Ferrari GT Challenge out in America, I spun it twice, as you see in the video, and it wasn't one of those I was like, oh, I'm pushing it, it was like, no, I just spun. And that can be a bit like iRacing, and the people are like, oh, iRacing, you just insta-spin, like. But for me, that's like, yeah, what can happen in real life as well. Elantra NTC, maybe it was that one. Maybe that's one. Hang on, let me get out on circuit. Let me get out on circuit on the Challenger. Is it worth me joining like a one of those? By the way, when I hit multiplayer, it might take the internet. Is it a paddock? Is it worth me joining a paddock? Should we take it to the Nürburgring? Should we commandeer one of these? If you want to join me in the paddock, feel free to join me in Global 1. Global 1, I'm going to be there. Be there or be square. Am I going to do a watch along for Dutch Grand Prix? That's my plan. I didn't do qualifying. My plan is to do Dutch Grand Prix. Oh, that's so cool. This is a massively underutilized feature. Please tell me I can change my car. Yes. Okay, let's go in that SRT then. What tyres am I on? Sports, hard. Please tell me I can buy tyres. Yes, I can. All these features they've added. I'm telling you, it's great. That's interesting because when I did my video driving the Peugeot RTZ at Brands Hatch, surely I was on Comfort Soft tyres. What tyres was I on in that video? Because someone said, oh, you on slick tyres. And I was like, oh, yeah, well, if I was, then that explains why I'm a lot faster. Anyway. Many YouTubers saying FF and new meta. I mean, I don't mind that. In GT Sport, I like driving the FF cars. In GT Sport, when it was Group 4 rounds, and I'd be in an FF, I loved it. I remember me driving the Audi TT in GT Sport? Whoa. Bumper's gone. Have I got TC? No, is that when you reverse? Well, that's hardly a fair fight, Marco, if you're in the RB 2019. Well, I tell you what. This might be like... I know we've got front bumper damage, by the way, but this might be a very good car to, like, work out how the handling is, because clearly when I put the throttle down... This isn't a car I want to make more oversteery, put it like that. This is a car that I want to make less oversteery. Woo. It's hard to get off the grass now, let's try it. Well, I'll have to try it when I come off properly, which will be soon. I mean, this feels a lot of fun, I have to say, in this car. Like, the car feels really alive. I feel like I can feel the load on the tyres, and when I have grip and when I don't have grip, and I can kind of understand it. So I'm liking this. This is a lot of fun. I mean, this in the rain would... A one-lap race online in the rain in these cars would be like, whoever wins that race really deserves it. Watching IndyCar quali, who was looking good? Was it Rosenquist was looking good? Or was it McLaughlin? I saw a few people put it in the wall. Working T Blankenship. In 171, the minimum downforce on the 9X8 was raised. I don't know why they've done that. I don't know why they've done it. It says polyphony doing polyphony things. Also, I haven't, because I've been busy doing stuff, I haven't really seen, I've just understood it's kind of controversial, but I don't really know why, so I'm trying to work it out. But I imagine the esports drivers will, well, I don't know, maybe some drivers like it, but I imagine if it's like F1 esports, they'll be complaining. But in my opinion, with greatest respect to them, and I know a lot of them and, you know, great people, but they're going to complain about any change. And I don't think GT7 should cater towards the, you know, 24 esports drivers. I think that's what's ruined the F1 game for a lot of people. So if this is better for the majority, then I'm all for it. I don't know yet, because this is quite a fun car to drive. Woo. It feels, this car to me feels like I don't feel like it has more grip, because my hunch is that my recollection of driving these sort of cars before was that it felt like there was actually quite a lot of traction on the rear, and therefore you could spin it up that way. Now it feels a bit more nimble, and it feels a bit more pliable. And when the weight's on the back, then there's more traction. And when the weight's not on the back, then it's a bit more skittish. That's what I feel. But let's go in the front-wheel drive car. Let's see the front-wheel drive car. Think about what month Moser is going to announce what wheelbase PlayStation will be. Yeah, we're all trying to get it out to me. I would definitely keep an eye on next week for Moser, put it like that. But just that's all I'm going to say. Redline is loving the new physics, more akin to Assetto. So yesterday I was driving a lot of Assetto Corsa. Let's see. Oh, that's okay, Trim. Probably should use Brand's hatch, given that I know Brand's a lot better, but... I mean, this car is not feeling particularly understeery to me either. I wonder whether certain cars, and I wonder whether the Porsche GT3 has been a bit nerfed. But this feels very nice and pliable. Thanks, Orion. So you had to throttle steer to get a good time. So when you can't do that now. When you say you needed to throttle steer, is that because you needed to induce some oversteer? Whoa. Bro's absolutely wrecked me. This feels very, very, very nice to drive. So far, the three cars that I've driven, the Porsche feels understeery, but like tons of grip. Didn't even get close to spinning it once. The Dodge Challenger felt just, I would say, way more sophisticated in terms of like how the car is, how you can manipulate where the weight is on the car and the tyres. And this just feels quite nice to drive. Does it feel any more similar to real life? Hard to say, because I've never driven this car at this circuit in real life. So I don't really know. If I take it to Brand, I'll be able to let you know. You're in auto drive. You're in auto drive then as well. Stopped on the racing line, bro. Let's get in a GT. Let's get in another GT3. What about the Ferrari? What about the 296? Hello, Pirate. Is the T598 better after the update? Watch this space. I might be doing some more stuff. I might be doing some guides and things on the T598. Remember, this is racing hard. Let's for comparison, put it on same as we had it on the Porsche, which I don't. How do I not have any other tyres for this car? It makes no sense. How have I never put softs in this car? What? Really? I've never bought a pair of tyres for this car. Okay. I just hope they don't end up making the physics borderline arcade. Certainly has. Well, the Porsche kind of felt like arcade, but maybe that's just the soft tyres, like, give a load of grip. This also so far feels extremely grippy. Maybe that's why they've made the grass, like, more slippery to counteract that. Whoop. Oh my goodness, that's weird. It feels like there is a lot of grip on this track here. I've been able to save some things that I doubt I would have saved before. Whoa, that's weird. That's really weird. I don't think I put a wheel on the inside up over the curb. I was up on the curb, but I don't think I went over it. C7 is on the rails now. Sorry about that. Why can't I turn left here also? I do have that bumper damage again. Now this is Gran Turismo. Have you ever seen anything more Gran Turismo than what you're watching right now? See the netcode's alive and well. See you, bro. The race in DC spectacular. So is it a race? Are they racing today and tomorrow? Because when is the actual 250? I don't really understand IndyCar. Is it like a sprint today and a feature tomorrow or something? I mean, circuit looks good. It's good to see all the landmarks and everything. I would have actually probably liked to have gone, to be honest, but... Again, I don't know too much. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know about arcades. The way I'm getting pushed and pulls on some of these curbs is pretty intense. Is T2 a big wheel? You have to constantly probe the throttles to get the thruster going out. FFB feels way stronger. It does feel pretty. Some of these, when I'm hitting some of these curbs, it's like it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Whoa! Then there's a massive like pull on it, which I don't recall before here. It's quali. Is it Grosjean? Did Grosjean win last time out? Or did you come PT or something? I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like the curbs have changed. Whoop. Welcome, Kip. Good to see you. I can't remember if this is one of yours, Kip. Obviously, KCR Kip is creating some incredible KCR liveries. Do we have one for the Caterham? I've just bought the Caterham. I feel like that could look really good. We have some really good ones for the Honda RA F1 car. So this is why I hit the curb on the inside last time. Try and nibble it again. No, nothing doing. I didn't ride it as much as last time, I guess. I'll ride that. We'll nibble that. We'll ride this. Brake coming in, ride on the inside. And here again, need to ride that. And then I normally take a bit on this, like that. Definitely take a bit of this one. It feels like the curbs have more. Well, you're saying curbs will tamer. To me, it feels like they have way more impact. Way more impact to me. I mean, look. I don't think I've ever had a spin like that at Nürburgring. And that corner, nibbling that curb. I kind of want to see the replay. Grippier, but any upset from off track or too much curb. I shouldn't be on the circuit here. There's no one coming. Any upset from off track or too much curb makes things a real handful to get back. It feels like there's been some grip changes. So if people are saying like, oh, it's less grippier on the grass now, then they may have changed the values on the grass, on the curb, even on the circuit, etc. How's the game on PS4 Pro? One of my editors has it on PS4 Pro. He likes it on that. Eden doesn't get the arcadey argument. Race cars have grip. Are you saying real race cars have grip? But I don't know what that. I'll have to look back at the stream because the way I went on this curb and then like seemed to get pulled at the end would make it for me kind of too risky to use curbs. I mean, this curb here I take on the inside and I run the curb on the left hand side here, run this curb. I'm really interested if people feel I think that the curbs will tamer, because that's not my experience so far. It also feels a lot more forgiving when I'm like being a bit loose with the brake on the way into braking zones. Like before, if I was out of was not braking in a straight line, I could expect the car to like screw it out a bit here. Now it doesn't seem to mind it as much. Right, let's see what happens through this high speed bit. I always forget it's not the high speed bit yet. This high speed bit. You can use curves, but you have to be ready on throttle upset. And yes, you can recover slip easier. Is that a bit of fog there? Nice. .6 12 lap. That's certainly not shabby. What about the curbs that are coming up here? That little bit that you hit on the right hand side, about here. I'm just trying to nibble curbs now. Defo curves are a bit more fierce. Yeah, left hand side at the top of the hill here. That one that you ride. Oh, shoot. This one. And then you nibble a lot of curbs on the way down here. I've never had that happen before. Not on iRacing, ACC, anything. Don't like it. Flat curb, shouldn't be anything there. Curb on the outside here. I mean, the consistent thing so far, I think, has been coming off curbs, maybe? I need to change the VR. I haven't done it yet. I need to get some more. I've lost my prescription lenses for my PSVR 2 headset. Because if I had my prescription lenses on, I could actually put it on right now. But because I don't have one prescription lens, I put contacts. The biggest VR change, you have to duck under the catering's mirror. I mean, it feels fun. Does it feel arcadey? Well, it's a lot more arcadey than iRacing, but always has been, so... I mean, when they won't give us tyre temps, I'm in the camp where I have to say, well, you know, it's a simulator, 100% it's a simulator. You know, compared to like Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever, like this is a simulator. But, you know, the decision to not give tyre temps, there'll be a PowerPoint slide somewhere in Japan where they'll have thought about it and there'll be pros and cons. And the pros will be like, you know, it'll make the hardcore audience happy. And the cons will be, it will confuse and alienate the casual audience. And I can't begrudge them for that, because I feel like GT has a massive part in the ecosystem of sim racing, which is to get people actually into sim racing, a bit like G29s and T150s. Am I going to put out a video? If I feel like I have strong enough opinions, I mean, at the moment, I'm not sure I have strong enough opinions about it. But like I said, I haven't seen any content. I haven't seen any discussion about it. I just know that people are discussing it. I mean, right now, I'm not sure that maybe it's because I've been around long enough that I've seen plenty of physics changes that it's like, okay, well, let me drive with it. And also because I'm not like, I haven't been doing the daily races. I'm not able to like say, oh, well, that's made me a 10th slower or a 10th faster or something. But certainly as me having fun driving this is really nice. I like it. I'm just trying to hit these curbs to get more confidence. I mean, that curb, that was very nice. Yeah, I mean, I've got the tyre temps as well through. I've done all the, you know, modding and whatnot. I've done a lot of streams actually with tyre temps, and you can see them when I've done analysis and videos, and they actually make a difference. So, you know, if you... I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That doesn't feel realistic to me in any way. It doesn't feel realistic to me that the car would get... Because I don't think the car's getting pushed round. I don't think the car's getting pushed round. It feels like the car's getting pulled round. Which can't be right. Tidney had an aneurysm. Yeah, but he's done like very specific guides on certain cars. So I imagine individual cars have changed quite a bit. Like, you know, it seems like that Porsche's changed quite a bit. On the meta level, it's still fun. For me, the thing I'm noticing is those curbs. Let's see what's up with this K-trim. K-trim with the Jimny engine is quite fun. It looks like the curb pulled you into the curb more instead of pushing you away. Yeah, my experience of going on curbs in real life is like, and maybe just the curbs I've been on, but I remember I've done a lot of karting, is, I'm trying to think the curbs push you away. Like, I'm trying to think, there's some curbs that like flatten out on the top and you end up riding them. If you go the other side of a sausage curb, it can pull you. But a normal curb like that, and on the side of on a Nürburgring, I don't understand how it would pull me, but I would need to have a look at a replay. Less grip on curbs, yeah, I can understand if there's more grip on the outside tyres that are on the tarmac. The rumbles are slicker all the time now. After this update, I'm considering selling my PS5 to go. If you're considering selling your PS5 to go to iRacing, I would actually just do it, because that's a decision that I don't even think an update change like this should have a meaningful effect on the decision. If you want to do that, you should do it. People keep calling it Simcade because it's on console. They pull towards if you lose grip, tire and tarmac push you towards curb. I still don't think that's the curb pulling you. I think that's you being pushed onto the curb because you've got your outside tyres. In my situation, they would have more grip, but that didn't feel like what happened. Mario says, no, it's so vague in front wheels. I like this view. I like the way I can see the suspension working on the front of this car. I've never driven a Caterham. Although there is some talk that I could race Caterhams, which would be a lot of fun. Ooh. This car, that's a lot of fun. Tell you what, daily racing in this is going to be great. People in iRacing are going to be fuming because the Caterham's in iRacing Arcade, it's in Gran Turismo 7, but it's not in proper iRacing. Enough more than I can chew there. Expensive accident. The cars will spin and point the wrong way. That's what happened to me there. This car's got some power, got a big behind, it wants to slide. I don't think it has a lot of power, right? But it feels nice and nimble. I like it. Miss Dave said, try the Caterham, is dreadful, wallers around like a boat. It does feel quite, like, very loose. Look at this. This actually reminds me of the Dodge, which is like, do you remember what I said in the Dodge? It feels like, oh, before the Dodge felt, those sort of cars to me felt like the rear was always quite planted, and therefore you could oversteer if you got on the power at a slight angle, etc. But now the Dodge feels more like level, and you actually need to get the weight on the rear tyres. This also feels like quite level. It's funny because I can't really detect any pitch because I've been using motion quite a bit recently. I think I've become spoiled with like detecting pitch in motion, because obviously you can see the suspension's doing a lot of work here, but when I get on the brake, I can't really visually see the weight transfer, and I can't easily immediately feel it either because my steering wheel only goes left and right. Oh, I hope I'm not going to become one of these like, oh, you're going to use motion people. Whoa, what happened there? It's like I got hit. Did I actually get hit? What happened there? Can I see a replay? No, I can't see a replay because it's not a session. Yeah, it's floaty, but you see there on that curb again. Do you recommend the latest Fantasy Wheel update? I've got to be honest with you. For Gran Turismo, given what happened with the previous Full Force update, I would just wait and see. Wait and see and look at the forums. Like, you know, what happened with the previous Fantasy update should never have happened. That should never have happened. And, you know, people say like, oh, why use Logitech wheel when blah blah blah. Well, it seems to me far less likely Logitech's going to do something like that than Fanatec. Fanatec are, at the moment, it seems much more willing to push firmware updates to, let's just say, like, market additional features to wheelbases. And, you know, the last one, people's wheelbases got bricked, etc. Whereas Logitech, they have not, I think, pushed a single update that they meaningfully talk about. It's like, this product is essentially the same as the day it was sold, so therefore it's less likely that. And also, I don't really, this pace I don't really update. RS50 I do. What's the best setting of T598? I might have some T598 stuff coming up. I may have it coming up. Did I loosen that or something? Why did that coincide with... Why did that coincide with the controller disconnect? Sure, I didn't subconsciously take it off. That would be a bit weird. Yeah, we'll have to do Jimny one. It did it again, you got pulled into the curb. Unlike the exit, right? Unlike the exit. Oh! Nice. I thought Lotus doesn't really have the rights to this car anymore, right? Or at least the design of it. I mean, someone will know the full story there. You don't notice any changes. If it ain't broken, to play it. Last an FMJ, yeah. We should use Paddock more often. Bring what you want. For a situation like this where we're exploring a new handling update, I think it's perfect. Barrio's not a fan of the update. I like a pointy car, and that all left wheels understeer. Mario, buy the Dodge Challenger. Like, seriously. Like, I don't know if this is something that Gran Turismo's like trying to cater to road cars a bit more than GT3s, or if this is a I can tell you in iRacing, because I do Jimmy Broadbent's 23-hour race every year, I often drive really weird cars in iRacing, like, and I drive them hard. Like, we try and, as a team, really get to our maximum potential on them, and we spend a lot of time setting them up. I don't think the iRacing model, which works for GT3s and hypercars and Formula cars, whatever, I don't think it really works for a lot of like road car-esque stuff. You know, last year in that Jimmy's race, we were driving the Cadillac CTS. Atrocious, like obscenely bad handling. And I just wonder here, like, well, can the Gran Turismo physics model like really... Firstly, I don't think any physics model can cater, like one physics model that's implemented in the game can cater towards esports and your person who buys Gran Turismo in a buys a PS5 in a box, downloads Gran Turismo and plays it on controller. I do not believe that a physics model can cater perfectly for both of those. Like, that's like a philosophical belief I have. If anyone agrees, disagrees, let me know. So it wouldn't surprise me if this handling model is designed to cater specifically somewhere on that spectrum. Spatial notice changes. I tell you what, this is weird. Why is my wheel turned off again? I haven't used this for a long time. I just noticed. Huh. What's going on? This is my G Pro. Which wheel? I did log in, right? It didn't go on standby. Let's see, because if something happens when I'm driving, I'll notice it. I'm trying to find a certain I haven't gone on the T598 with the new. This is the first time I'm going on the new update. Something is not. I haven't had the wheel on the base for a long time. Because when I do other streams here, I take the wheel off. Right, let me drive, because if that's gonna unless it's going into some standby, which would be very weird, very annoying. So this car feels quite sophisticated to drive. I like it. I mean, I don't think it's going to be fast to drive. I can't imagine this car was more oversteery than this in the past, but I did do guides and sort of stuff on these. Is the new physics model anything like ACC? No. ACC's model is all about... It's really all about the tyres and tyre pressures and temps and... My controller has disconnected again. Unless I'm overloading something. Unless I'm overloading something. Well, I said I literally was talking about how, like, oh yeah, I wouldn't update the Fanatec, and like, oh yeah, my Logitech never really has a problem. Well, now my G Pro for the first time is disconnecting. I'm trying to think why. It's not hot because there's a fan in there. What happens if the fan stops working? Power connector seems good. See, I just put the wheel on there, and the display turned off. So I don't even think it's a disconnection issue. I think it's a power issue. Unless I've knocked the power cable. Does it drive automatically? Oh, it drives automatically, okay. Could it be related to the update? I haven't tried on VR yet. Yeah, let me know if anyone else using G Pro had any issues. What I might do is turn down the strength just in case, but I'll need to investigate this more. Yeah, I don't think it's connected to my DualSense. That's never been an issue before. Oh, sorry, brother. You've always liked G7 but can't get back after getting used to ATC. Yeah, well, if you like, I mean, I was doing some ACC last few days and in the rain at the Nürburgring and a big grid and it's very good. Welcome, Phil. Whoa! Oh my god. Let's get in something I can actually drive. But that makes sense to me. So the Porsche feels more understeery. Let's get in the Porsche again. Unless it's a straight up nerf for the Porsche. Your teammate has it as well. When did that start? When it says controller, it means my wheel. I think because it has the USB icon. Well, this is very disappointing. I do have it into a hub. I don't think my hub is blinking. And even if my hub was disconnecting, which is possible, I don't think that would cause the wheelbase to turn off. I think when the wheelbase disconnects, it wouldn't turn off. Your GT Pro is disconnecting. You mean your Fanatec GT Pro? I don't think it's to do with my controller. My controller is always low battery. So, like, this thing is always on the verge of death. Well, I'll have to speak to Logitech about it. I know it's got the micro USB power, because I was surprised that when I did a thing recently with comparing RS50, I was surprised it's got micro USB, and I had to find another micro USB cable because I couldn't find the one here. But the power's not micro USB. What's the power? The power's like a circuit. I'm gonna unplug the power. Ah, now I've got okay, so I've plugged and unplugged the power on the back. Attach the wheel. PS5. Alright, let's see again. All to do with battery. Oh, on your control. Well, unless that's a PS5 update. Wow, the steering is very heavy on this. And I've just turned down the Newton meter on the G Pro. I'll check the forums, the Logitech forums, to see if anyone else having an issue, because it definitely feels like the steering feels heavier, and it just I wonder if it's getting overloaded or something. And I wonder if that's a similar thing with Fanatec. And that makes me think, I wonder if it's something to do with True Force. So why don't I turn True Force off? I'm not using the RS50, I'm using the G Pro. Right, PS5. Right. So I've got to stay. So I'm going to go True Force Audio, which I had on 17. I'm going to turn True Force Audio off, and I already turned the strength down just then to 4.5. But this feels like... This doesn't feel like 4.5. No, something's weird. Like the amount of load I had there, to me, felt way more than 4.5, and at that moment it disconnected. But there's been other moments where it's disconnected where I haven't had any load. So I'm not sure that can be the issue. Yeah, if anyone's got Logitech stuff, test it, especially if you've got G Pro. Because clearly in this stream, and it seems to be getting worse, which maybe the casing isn't hot at all, but I know it has a fan in it. So they must be worried about heat. Touch wheel. PS5. I'll tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to turn the strength down to like 0. My first race I was using update and updated my GTDD Extreme base. I had your first disconnect ever. This is my first disconnect ever on this base. Right, tree force is on 0. And strength, I'm going down to 1. 1 is the lowest I can do. And I'm going to turn on the torque meter. Just to detect the torque that it's showing. G29 was working fine earlier. RS50 fine. RS50 buttons and throttle jams. Yeah, something's broken here because my live torque... No. My live torque is way above 1. My live torque there was on 4. So even though I limited torque on the G Pro to 1, my torque meter was showing 4. And that might explain why before my... It may explain that when I... Because when I started the stream, I had it on like 7 point something. That might have saturated it. And then when I put it down to 4.5, I want to put it on 4.5 now. Let's see. Yeah, I may as well plug the controller in as well, just in case. Well, this is fun doing all this troubleshooting. That's what I love. That's that. Okay, so my controller's plugged in. I'm not using compatibility mode, but I can use it. They're killing all the wheels, so we buy Moser. I mean, now, like, even the recovery cars come for me. Even the recovery pickups come. If you reverse and get your tow bar out. Okay, so I'm going to go PS5. I'm not going to. I'm going to put the torque up. Strength. I'm going to put the torque up to what I normally have it, which is like 7.3, something about that. Yeah, my torque is going like to 9. Yeah, my torque went above 10 there. And these aren't even big corners because I can still look at what I'm doing. Yeah, my average torque through there was 8.9. My hunch would be that, and I'm just thinking back to when something happened about a year ago. There we go, disconnected. Something happened a year ago, and I made a video where I said this is dangerous. I've got no brakes. I made a video a year ago, so this is dangerous because Gran Turismo did an update, and I remember it was, at least I tested it at the Swiss track, the Swiss mountain track. I don't know if that was a daily race, and it was like there were moments where the force feedback was so strong. I was like, this update is dangerous, and it became a bit of an emergency. And then Gran Turismo did a hot fix, and it fixed it. I wonder if this update is caused some kind of thing where, like, at least this G Pro is doing a lot more force feedback than it's meant to, and I wonder if that's like either, I don't know if it's, I can't feel it's hot, but it wouldn't surprise me if somewhere it's overheating something or something. And I wonder if that's similar to what's going on with Fanatec wheelbases. I can test it tomorrow. Tomorrow I can test it with a G923, and I can test it with Fanatec, and I can test it with THRUSTMASTER. Can't test it with Moser. Switch compatibility modes. I can try it, but also I don't want to damage my wheelbase, because this, to me, feel the times I've been, the recent times it's crashed, I've been like, had like load, and I've noticed a load is more than it's meant to be, and then it's gone slack because it's turned off. But anyway, for science, let me do it then. Let me turn on compatibility mode. PS5. And it's off. So that time I didn't even get to drive. So I wonder if it's like what I had with my T150 when it overheated. You just had to wait for it to cool down. I don't know. That's the first time I've had any disconnect issue with this G Pro. So I don't know if it's connected with the update or not, but I want to know what the truth is. You say again it's a direct drive problem. What you mean direct drives with this update, or? Because it'd be interesting using a T150 with this. I should have taken a video actually of the torque meter. But yeah, this is a big shame because I wanted to try more of the update. I don't have another wheelbase here that I can swap in. I don't even have another rim. But I think what I'll have to do is I'll do some testing tomorrow. I'll have to get the T598, the GTD Pro, and RS50. But yeah, let me know in the comments. My Fanatec base was at 60, mid-race it lost FFB and all button. Is that the first time you've lost... I'm in a really bad position here, I apologise. Is that the first time you've ever lost FFB? Is that the first time you've ever lost FFB? Your T598 has been working perfect, but the torque has been increased. I had to drop it in game modes. But it's good that the T598 seems to be working. Let's see what... I'm going to go on the Fanatec Reddit and see what Fanatec says. GTDD Pro bricked after recent firmware update. GT 1.71. From the first race post-update, I started to experience intermittent disconnects where the wheel would lock, freeze, rotate violently. Now device appears to be bricked. Fanatec knows about this. It says I'm looking at Fanatec because they're more active. Hey, my wheel has suddenly powered off several times today since the update while racing a GT7, and a couple of other times I suddenly lost most force feedback. And then someone said some Fanatec staff have said the latest GT7 update unfortunately introduced these base freezes. We are investigating and are in contact with the game developer to see what we can do. And let me check the Logitech Facebook. What's it called? It's called like RS50 or something. RS50 owners. Does anyone notice that after the new update of GT10 the base gets really warm to the touch? Like maybe 50 degrees Celsius before it never got more than 20-25. The Logitech forums are not as busy. So G Pro. Logitech G Pro. Groups. Logitech Wheelbase Owners Club G Pro. Can't see any place there. Right, well I don't know. Spent hours yesterday with DD Pro, no issues. OGSR. First time ever losing FFB on that. Is it just GT7? Try another game. Good idea. Good idea. That's a very good idea. Try. I don't really have any other. I don't have ACC on this. I must have ACC. Okay, we got ACC. Oh. I know. I may do all that off stream because I may do it all off stream. They turned up the damping. The G7 has G29 has way more power. Welcome, Wheel Dog. This is true motor racing. Everyone's sitting around wondering what went wrong and what doesn't work properly. So if you're wondering how it's gone, so we started the stream, jumped in the Porsche 911 GT3, the new one. Seems to be quite a bit more understeery, but you can brake way later, so maybe that has kind of more grip. Went in the Dodge Challenger. It feels more sophisticated. Certainly doesn't feel understeery. But it feels like quite, you can kind of manipulate it. Caterham also feels like you can manipulate it. Definitely doesn't feel, that doesn't feel understeery actually. RCZ again feels like quite sophisticated. Doesn't feel understeery, which is interesting. So maybe that's drivetrains and if you've got more grip available. Then we started having disconnect issues on G Pro, which just haven't stopped. But we went quite a long way, and then we started having them. So I don't know. You have RS50, but have no issues since the update. Wheelbase might have been running cooler. I just saw a post where someone said that it seems to be running hotter, but I'll have to do some proper tests. So I don't think I have enough info yet on the update in terms of the handling. Yeah, it feels different for sure. And if you're midway through a week of doing daily races, you're going to notice that because you have to adjust all your braking points, etc. If you're like really in it. But from my perspective, it feels different. But I think I can get used to it. With the cheap wheel, you feel blessed. Exactly, no problems. Everyone on G29 absolutely fine. But I need to get to the bottom of what's going on with the update and wheels, because if I start seeing that more people on G Pro and RS50, or maybe just G Pro are having this, and people on Fanatec are having it, maybe it's something that's coming through the True Force, Full Force, or something. I don't know. But I need to speak with Logitech, speak with Fanatec, try and speak with PD. I haven't played. I'm not sure I've ever played ACT on this particular. This is the PS5 Pro, so they did do an update there. I'm pretty sure they did a livery update. So this might all be liveries. It's quite a big file. But yeah, so fingers crossed go live tomorrow. I think I'm going to go live tomorrow anyway for the Formula 1. So maybe I'll try and do some testing before F1. And then you can ask me in the F1 stream how it's gone. And if I'm able to conclusively find something, then I'll do a video on it. I'll definitely, I think, do a short and it'd be quite easy. But yeah, shame, because I wanted to drive quite a bit tonight and maybe actually do some races, but I literally can't drive at the moment, so can't do it. But if anyone else got any thoughts on the update, let me know in the chat, because it's really cool to get all of your thoughts, and I'd rather have your thoughts than watch YouTube videos where maybe people want to like make a dramatic video. Wheel Dog. Who is the Wheel Dog? Oh, the Wheel Dog's in the chat. Yeah, interesting to get feedback. People saying T598 seems to become better. So that maybe like better, stronger. So I know THRUSTMASTER have been doing a lot on their firmware, adding stuff like engine roar, and I really actually like the engine roar. Obviously, they had the gear jolt from day one, and it's just I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but Moser have just come out and said we're gonna make PlayStation wheels basically, and we're now the official. Oh, it's all very controversial that we're an official Gran Turismo World Series partner, not the, because if you were the, then where's Fanatec? And the next update GT7 does, I start having wheel issues, Fanatec people start having wheel issues. Yeah, on RS50 we'll keep an eye on what happens at Logiplay, which is in September. So we're going to have Gamescom is next week. Then you're going to have Logiplay in like around mid-September, I think. And then mid-October it's going to be Sim Racing Expo. January is going to be Sim Global Expo in the UK. I'm going to be there in January, so I'm going to be exhibiting at Sim Global Expo. So I'm going to do some content on that. So keep an eye out for that. But I'll be there at Sim Global Expo. And I'm going to be exhibiting. So we'll have a stand. I should be there. Sam should be there. And also I think there's going to be some stuff on the stage. That's the first time they've done it, so I don't really know what to expect. And before that, I think I'm going to be at, or hopefully be at CES again, which would be fun. So that's what it's looking like. Does it make me an exhibitionist? I think it will. I think it will by then. Welcome, Bobby. Unfortunately, I'm going to end the stream because I can't race anymore. Or should we go in for science? What do you think? Put ACC in capital letters if you want to see me go into ACC, because there's 50 seconds left. RDO for myself is improved, but I've raced my entire life with ABS off. And the new ABS ratio. Oh, that's cool. You're racing with. Do you race online with ABS off? Because on Forza, I always try to race with ABS off. Actually, ACZC is close enough. It's close enough. Play Final Fantasy. I don't think I have Final Fantasy installed. I think I have the disc for Final Fantasy. My Fanatec only lost FFB when into the auto setting. Is that on your wheelbase or on your in GT7 somewhere? Okay, let's see what ACC is saying. Because obviously I don't rule it out being just a straight up issue with the base, which would be very interesting, because I think I've had this base since 2022. So I think I've had this base for 4 years, and I would expect it to last longer than 4 years. Nice one, Tony. That's a good combo. Getting the pro pedals. This might influence my when people ask me about products on Logitech, because normally I'm like, well, it's not really worth getting the G Pro to save the money getting the RS50, and now I can't get to the bottom of this. I'm like, and also my G Pro had some sort of issue that I couldn't explain. Your podcast, you mean, is that the sim racing show? Oh, you were listening to it on Spotify? I need to get that on all different podcast platforms. I bet this music's not copyright approved. Ah! I've made a mess of this. I'm pretty sure ACC you need to start on the... Is it? How do I... I don't care! Jeez. Anyway, I'm pretty sure you have to start it with your wheel. But how do I quit that? I have not contacted MVH yet. I need to do that. Sam reminded me. He was like, it's on the whiteboard. And I was like, yes, I'm going to do it. I need to do it. Their wheel looks really nice. That's good on Spotify. Try and release everyone on Spotify. Try. It normally goes out actually early on Spotify. Hopefully it makes sense in a podcast format. There we go. Learned from Greg Moore. Right. Let's do this. Maybe let's not do heavy rain. Just because, you know. Okay, let's see what this is going to say. This is the epic outline
profile.
That's interesting. My wheel rotation is not correct, but we won't. Let's not split hairs at the moment. Let's not split hairs. That's fixable. I think ACC is massively underrated on console, by the way. I think because the original one on PS4 and Xbox One, what's a weird name, Xbox One, wasn't that good, but the next gen versions. Gone. And now I'm dead. Now I'm dead. So I've died also. So really, it's got even worse. Okay, that's good test too. I need to work out what's going on with my G Pro. I need to check the power. I can't. There is a power brick. I need to check the power brick. Check their cables, and do some testing. So this, to me, I doubt that it's overheated from GT7. Now it's got an issue. I think this is separate. How many years to see or know anything about GTA? When it happens, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. And I feel like with the way that consoles are going, like, you know, with the components getting so expensive, actually refreshing, like, you know, adding more great games to PlayStation, I think it's going to be really important. Right, everyone, I'm going to end it there. I'm not going to do any troubleshooting tonight. I'm going to do some troubleshooting tomorrow, and hopefully have some news for you before or during the F1 stream. But yeah, it's very disappointing because I've never had an issue like this. I've been lucky. I've been spoiled. In fact, so I haven't had an issue like this since T150. My T150 used to overheat on stream. That's a long time ago. We're going back to like 2020. So 6 years. 6 years I haven't had this problem. But now I got it. Turn the grid off and on and off. But thanks so much for joining, everyone. Been a lot of fun. And touch wood, if I can get stuff fixed, we'll do it again tomorrow night. But I need to see what's up. So hope you have a very good Saturday night and Sunday, especially if you're watching the race tomorrow. And I'll see you in